When we talk about restoring vision naturally, we have to begin with a fundamental truth. Your eyes are not separate from the rest of your body. They are living tissue, metabolically active, neurologically complex, and deeply dependent on what you feed them every single day. You cannot nourish your body poorly and expect your vision to remain sharp. Biology doesn't negotiate. The retina, for example, has one of the highest metabolic demands in the entire body. It requires a steady supply of oxygen, antioxidants, and specific micronutrients to function efficiently. Vitamin A supports the light-sensitive cells that allow you to see in low light. Lutein and zeaxanthin act almost like internal sunglasses, filtering harmful blue light and protecting delicate retinal tissue. Omega-3 fatty acids strengthen the tear film, reducing dryness and inflammation. When these nutrients are absent, your eyes don't fail dramatically overnight. They decline subtly, gradually, almost invisibly. And that's what makes it dangerous. But this is not just biology, it's philosophy. Every meal is either a deposit or a withdrawal from your long-term health account. The modern diet, highly processed, low in micronutrients, trains us to chase taste and convenience while ignoring consequence. Yet your vision is shaped by consistency, not intensity. A single carrot will not transform your eyesight, but daily intake of leafy greens, colorful vegetables, eggs, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats creates a cumulative protective effect over years. Hydration matters too. The eye's surface relies on a stable tear layer. Even mild dehydration can lead to dryness, irritation, and blurred focus. Something as simple as drinking adequate water throughout the day becomes a powerful act of preservation. Here's the psychological shift. Stop seeing food as entertainment and start seeing it as instruction. Every bite tells your body what to repair, what to strengthen, and what to sacrifice. When you consistently provide the raw materials for eye health, the body responds with resilience. Sharp vision is not an accident. It is the outcome of repeated daily decisions. And the empowering reality is this: every meal is an opportunity to move your eyesight forward or backward. If you want clearer vision tomorrow, start by respecting what you feed your body today. Now, once we understand that the eyes are biologically dependent on what we consume, we have to confront the second reality of modern life. We are overworking them in ways no previous generation ever has. The human visual system evolved to scan horizons, track movement in nature, and shift focus between distances. It did not evolve to stare at illuminated rectangles 6 inches from the face for 10 hours a day. This is where a simple but powerful habit becomes transformative. The 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, you look at something 20 feet away for at least 20 seconds. On the surface, it sounds almost too simple, but physiologically, it interrupts a dangerous cycle. When you focus on a near object, like a phone or laptop, tiny muscles inside the eye contract to maintain clarity. The longer they stay contracted, the more strain accumulates. Over time, this leads to fatigue, headaches, dryness, and difficulty shifting focus. The problem isn't screens alone. The problem is sustained, uninterrupted near focus. By intentionally shifting your gaze into the distance, you allow those muscles to relax. You reset the visual system. You restore balance. Think of it as stretching after sitting for too long. We understand that the body stiffens without movement. The eyes are no different. But there's also a psychological layer here. Constant screen fixation narrows not only our visual field, but our mental field. We become absorbed, reactive, overstimulated. When you pause and look into the distance, something subtle happens. Your breathing slows, your nervous system settles, your perspective, both literal and mental, expands. Distance changes perception. When you look far, you think differently. You process differently. Even your posture often improves. This small act becomes more than an eye exercise. It becomes a discipline of awareness. The key is consistency. Set reminders if necessary. Attach the habit to something you already do, finishing an email, ending a call, completing a task. Build it into your workflow instead of waiting for discomfort to force you. The modern world demands your attention, but protecting your vision demands your intention. If you cannot step away from the screen, at least train yourself to look beyond it. Once we address nutrition and visual breaks, we arrive at something many people underestimate: the importance of actively training the eyes themselves. We accept that muscles in the body weaken without use and improve with intentional exercise. Yet when it comes to vision, we assume decline is inevitable and maintenance is impossible. That assumption is worth challenging. The eyes are guided by a complex network of tiny muscles, responsible or tracking, focusing, and stabilizing images. When those muscles are locked into repetitive patterns, like staring straight ahead at a fixed distance for hours, they lose flexibility. Over time, stiffness replaces responsiveness. Clarity becomes effortful instead of automatic. Simple daily exercises can restore that flexibility. Intentional blinking, for example, sounds trivial, but when we focus intensely on screens, our blink rate drops significantly. This destabilizes the tear film and leads to dryness and irritation. Consciously blinking for a minute restores lubrication and resets the surface of the eye. It is a small act with immediate physiological impact. Then there is focus shifting, holding your thumb close to your face for a few seconds, then redirecting your gaze to something across the room or out a window. This trains the focusing muscles to contract and release rhythmically, rather than remaining frozen in one position. It rebuilds adaptability. Eye rotations, slowly tracing large circles with your gaze, encourage full-range movement. And palming, where you gently cover closed eyes with warm hands, allows both the visual system and the nervous system to decompress. In darkness and warmth, the brain reduces visual processing demands. The effect is not just muscular, it is neurological. What's important here is not intensity, but intention. 5 to 10 minutes a day, is enough. The deeper message is philosophical. Function improves when it is challenged in balanced ways. Stagnation breeds weakness. Variation builds resilience. When you move your eyes deliberately, you reclaim agency over a system that modern habits have placed on autopilot. You remind your brain that vision is dynamic, not fixed. The body adapts to the demands placed upon it. Place better demands on your eyes, and they will respond accordingly. Train them daily or allow them to drift passively toward decline. After we nourish the eyes, give them distance, and train their flexibility, we come to something even more foundational: protection and prioritization. Because restoration is not only about what you add, it is also about what you prevent. The modern environment is aggressive toward vision. Ultraviolet radiation, artificial blue light, sleep deprivation, air pollution, these are not minor stressors. They are cumulative forces. And the danger is not immediate blindness. It is gradual degradation, the kind you barely notice until clarity is no longer effortless. Ultraviolet exposure, for instance, accelerates oxidative stress inside the eye. Over years, that stress compounds. A simple habit, wearing quality UV protective sunglasses outdoors, acts as a long-term investment in retinal preservation. It is not about fashion. It is about shielding delicate tissue from invis, eyeball damage. Then there is blue light exposure at night. Light is not just illumination, it is information. When you flood your eyes with bright screens late into the evening, you suppress melatonin production and disrupt circadian rhythm. Sleep becomes shallow. Recovery declines. And the eyes, like every organ, rely on deep sleep for cellular repair. Chronic sleep restriction doesn't just make you tired, it reduces your body's ability to maintain visual precision. And let's talk about checkups. There is a psychological resistance many people have toward preventive care. If nothing feels wrong, we assume nothing is wrong. But vision problems often develop silently. Regular eye examinations are not admissions of weakness. They are expressions of responsibility. Early detection changes outcomes. Protection also includes boundaries, reducing unnecessary screen exposure, adjusting lighting to avoid glare, positioning monitors at appropriate distance. These are small structural decisions that prevent chronic strain. What ties all of this together is a shift in mindset. You stop reacting to problems and start designing your environment intentionally. You move from passive consumer to active guardian of your health. Vision is how you interpret the world. It shapes perception, learning, relationships, opportunity. When you protect your eyes, you are protecting your interface with reality itself. And here is the final truth. What you consistently protect, you preserve. If your sight matters to you, treat it like something worth defending every single day.